About a year ago, I did a video addressing some of the pain points I had with my table saw. It was an attempt to eliminate some of the less important, yet repeatedly irritating annoyances in my shop, working toward what I call the suckless workshop. What's up, nerds? Today, I am working once again toward that goal. These are Apple boxes. I've done a whole video on these. I even offer plans for them. I consider them an essential tool around my workshop, but I keep tripping over them. They have no home. Same with these. I use these as project trays, for keeping tools and parts together when I'm working on a particular project. I often pair them with these little magnetic trays from back when Harbor Freight still had coupons. Also, I've got a lot of these little plastic bins, for keeping hardware in, small parts, and my spiders apparently. Got yourself in a little pickle there, didn't you, buddy? And I realized that all of these things they're temporary storage. I store things in these. I store projects and materials on these. But where do I store these? I need storage for my storage. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to improve these project trays. I believe these were actually the boxes I used to test insulation combinations for my door panels, but they've always been a little bit too small, so I'd like to size them up. This is 12 by 12, and that's the same width as the Apple boxes. So if these are all going in the same rack, which is how I'm planning to solve this issue, these will fit in the same areas. It's got plenty of room. I can even throw my whole drill in there if I want to move it around the shop. So I think this is probably a good size. Now, something else I wanted to do maybe was I've added this little piece to the bottom of this one. And I thought about doing something like this so that they could stack and kind of lock together like that, but a little bit easier. But I'm not sure about this because one of the points of these project trays is so I can take a project and move it out of the way. So I can take this and I can put it in the rack. And if these are locked together, all of these in a stack, I don't want to have to pull out a whole stack to try to get the one out. I think I want to have individual shelves for these so I can just slide them in and slide them out. Although I guess I could do both. But to be able to pull these out of the shelves easily, I think there's one more thing I want to get a feel for. Nope. Okay. You know what? I was going to do this on the bandsaw, but I'm too lazy to change the blade. All right, yeah. Just have a little cutout on the end there. Can reach in, even if there's a shelf above it. Reach in, pull it out. And that still leaves me room for one more idea I'd like to try right here. Now, you've probably noticed I have added a couple of handles on the sides here. Not sure if I'm going to end up using these or not, maybe. I'm only going to make a couple of these to start, so I'm going to see how I use them, how I interact with them, and then maybe, modify them as needed. You'll also notice I added a recess here in front. I went and picked up some whiteboard material, and this is going to pop in there. So when I've got a project in here, I want to put it away temporarily up on the shelf. I can write on here what's in it so I can identify it at a glance. I have added that to both ends, by the way, because if there's one thing I've learned about any kind of storage container, is that they fall under the same quantum principles as a USB plug. No matter what, you're going to stick it up on the shelf backwards, realize I'd have to pull it back out, turn it around, and stick it back up there again so you can read the label. So I've learned just to make it double-ended. Most of the best tools are double-ended. Now, there's one last thing I got to do with these. Because these bottoms fit so snugly in here, they don't nest easily. If I wanted them to lock together, this would be great, but I want them to go together just a little bit easier. So I just need to shave just a little bit off of these. Perfect. Okay, so for the actual storage unit, this is basically what I'm thinking. It's a rack. It's basically a rack. That's really all I need. I've got my different sizes of Apple boxes in here. I don't know if I really need that many of them though. The full size I use most of the time. I still need to make more of these. I don't know if I'm gonna make that many of the halves. So maybe just 4 of those. I don't know. I don't want to end up making more of these because I need them and then have no place to put them and have to put them on the floor next to the unit, which defeats the purpose of the entire project. But I also don't want to leave room for something I never make. My inability to decide things like this are exactly what hold up every single one of my projects. But I don't know, I'll think about that some more. I've got my trays up here at the top. I think I'm going to add a little bit more room above them here. I think that's pretty good. The only thing I think I need to add is a drawer for all of these guys. And also I realized I've also got these baggies. I keep these little zip baggies around. I got like two or three sizes of these. Use them to keep small parts together. I use them in shipping all the time. I recommend keeping these around the workshop, but get the thicker ones, at least 4 mil. 5 or 6 mil if you can. They're a lot more durable. So I'll have to add it between some rows here. See, that's 28 inches up. This is 38 inches up. But that's what? 28 is way down here, or it's going to be 38. That would be the bottom of the drawer. So that would be fine. So yeah, put it above the halves. So drag this down here. Just gotta fix a couple of things. Okay, and the drawer goes right in here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now I can spend the next 45 minutes to 3 hours deciding how many Apple boxes future me is gonna need. And then I can get started cutting down the plywood. Yeah, so it is already 8 p.m. and I almost forgot about dinner. I get so caught up in my projects out here in the shop that I often skip meals, which is not great. And that is why I am excited to announce the return of Factor and their ready-to-eat meals as a sponsor to this channel. See, Factor is great for someone like me because they ship me a box of fresh, chef-prepared meals that take 2 minutes to heat up. You can also use your oven. That's not my kitchen, by the way. It also eliminates the prep and the cleaning. I can just have myself a great meal and get right back to work. And these are not frozen dinners. They're never frozen. Tonight, I'm having, make sure I put the blade down first. Tonight, I'm having teriyaki chicken with cauliflower rice and sesame broccoli. That's better than anything I could have made myself. Although I think my favorite of theirs is the peanut Buddha bowl, which is just fun to say. Although unfortunately it was not available this week because Factor is always switching things up, so you've got a variety of 35 different meals to choose from each week. They also offer breakfast options, smoothies, and gourmet plus meals like filet mignon and truffle butter, which I am having tomorrow. And right now you can get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box using my link. Just click the link down in the video description or scan the QR code with your phone. It's on the screen somewhere. All right, so to assemble this, I finally picked myself up a pocket hole jig. Don't unsubscribe. Very strong opinions about pocket holes here on YouTube, but for shop fixtures, I like to use screws, no glue. That way, if I want to modify something or if I just don't need it anymore, I can disassemble the whole thing. And this I thought was a perfect project to start using pocket holes because I've got shelves that are right across from each other. So this should make it a lot easier to screw things together. I just have to remember to offset the screws on one side in the middle so they don't run into each other. So I made myself a little story stick with all my screw positions, and on the other side, the offset positions. And I'm going to do all of those first so I don't get things mixed up. So I believe all I got to do is line this up with this line, clamp it in, and well, that was easy enough. I don't really have to be all that accurate, I don't think. Okay, pocket holes. If I didn't mention it, this is actually the first time I've used pocket holes. And I think I kind of like it. That quick release is great. Just need like a vacuum attachment to it. Okay, that is all of the offset holes. I think this might be Craig's newest jig. This is not sponsored, by the way. I bought this myself. But I will say I like this. This was super easy to use. Again, not sponsored, but I do link to all of my tools down in the video description. If you're thinking about getting one of these, I think I'd recommend this. All right, now I just got to do all the other holes, which I think I'll do off camera. Now, it should just be a matter of putting everything together in the right order. I don't know if you can make these out on camera, but I've already marked all of my my lines here indicating where each of the shelves goes. So I should be able to just line them up, clamp them in place, and screw them in. Oh, didn't even think of that. I drilled these just far enough in, my clamps don't block them. That was just stupid luck. Which is really the only kind of luck I got. Easy enough. Now, just to get you oriented, this is the top. And these are the slots where the project trays are going to go. Ah! You guys okay? Full contact carpentry. Now that I've got this all lined up, I can come in from the top here and screw that in. And I will know that this is centered. There's always one. I've got to get it lined up, I've got to get it flush, and I've got to get it square. And it looks like I only get 2 out of 3. That doesn't line up. That doesn't line up with my line. Wait. 12, 18, 12, 19. Hit the button. Oh, don't tell me I have to take it all off. Can't get down in between these with the driver. Well, I can leave half of that one. And we're back where we were 15 minutes ago. There we go. I think I'm gonna have to hit the button again. Yeah, so the plan was, you saw this coming, didn't you? The plan was I was gonna get all the stuff attached in the middle and then go back and put on this side. But as I just learned, I can't get down in between these narrow shelves once they're all on. So I mean, it's already at 0, but it's ceremonial. And once again, we're back where we started. Hey, Derek, I heard there's cake in the break room. So, my mentor and style coach, David Picciuto, recently did a video in which he built some shop furniture and discussed some of the different plywood options available. You should check it out, link below. I don't want to rehash everything he's already covered, but I will mention Baltic birch, which is kind of the gold standard when it comes to plywood with its high number of very consistent plies. I use it whenever I can because the quality makes it very easy to work with, and it also looks nice. But it's expensive. In his video, David tried out an alternative, often referred to as import birch, and his experience pretty much aligned with mine. It's less expensive, but it's not great. The plies are pretty inconsistent and the quality varies widely. I used it one time on my Sorta Sortimo rack, and I wish I hadn't. I actually had one sheet completely delaminated in half. It just fell open like a sandwich with no mayonnaise on it. In fact, I'm pretty sure mayonnaise would have worked better than whatever they used. There's also what I call big box birch, which is the stuff that you'll find at Home Depot and the like. It's decent quality, but they charge about the same as what my supplier does for actual Baltic birch. In fact, I can get 1/2-inch Baltic right now cheaper than what Home Depot is charging for theirs. Now, I would love to use Baltic birch for everything in here, but I don't have that kind of money. So there's one more option that I turn to for stuff like this, Radiata pine ply, often listed by the orange and blue guys as cabinet grade ply. At least around here, you can find it under the brand name Araco. The plies tend to be pretty consistent with just a few small voids here and there. One side is nice and clean, the other side a little bit less so. It's certainly not as pretty as birch, but it's flat, it's smooth, it's strong, and it's a lot cheaper. I think I paid $50 a sheet for this. Unfortunately, I have never found it in a 1/2-inch. So for that, I am using Home Depot's budget level sand ply, which I don't really like working with because it tends to be kind of splintery, even stringy somehow. But I'm only using it for the back of this, so when I'm done, I will never have to touch it again. Now, before I flip it upright, I gotta add some feet. I really expected that to go much more Three Stooges. All right, first thing I gotta point out is I think this is the most accurate drawer that I have ever made. I've got like a 32nd of an inch around this face and it closes perfectly. As for the rest of this, there's nothing special about it. It's not perfect. I've got a crooked shelf here, but it does exactly what I designed it to do. I can keep my overflow of little yellow bins in here, as well as all of my baggies. I may 3D print some kind of bins just for these, or maybe some kind of dispenser. I don't know, do you guys have any ideas? I also ordered some more of these magnetic trays, and rather than just keeping them in the drawer here, I found a piece of steel that was the perfect size. It was already cut, already drilled. I gave it a fresh coat of paint, and I put it on the side of this. Now I can just slap all these trays over here, grab one whenever I need it. I also took the time to complete my set of apple boxes, and they all fit in here nice and neat, out of the way, exactly the way they're supposed to. And I decided I liked these 12 by 12 trays. I actually used them in the completion of this project, so I went ahead and made a couple more, as well as some larger 12 by 20 trays. I had to put the handles on the ends because it made more sense, but surprisingly, it does not bother me that these are different. One last thing I added, you'll notice there's a space up here at the top. I get packages in here all the time for parts for upcoming projects, and so I just end up with boxes all over the shop, and I lose things. So from now on, this is where they go. Also, if I ever want to change things down here, maybe add another row for some reason, I can shift things up and expand into this space. I love it when I can actually take the time and get things more organized in this shop. If you guys have any ideas for anything to add to this, I've still got room here on the side. I don't know, send me your ideas. Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to click that link down in the description, 50% off your first box of Factor. I recommend giving it a try. And every time you support my sponsors, you help support my work here in the workshop. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. I really need a catchphrase. Should put a to-do list up here. Get a catchphrase. Pachuto has a catchphrase. Be more like Pachuto.